some things very, very well. Lots of things very well. And two of the things we do extraordinarily well is we talk and we eat. And we can actually do both of them at the same time. So I want to invite you that as people come up here to speak, you can feel free to continue eating. Now I would mention, they talk, you eat. If you eat and you talk, that's going to be a problem. So I just want to throw that out there. As I invite up Haley Weitzman as our next speaker.
It was an amazing trip. I met lots of wonderful Jewish people and had lots of wonderful Jewish and Israeli experiences. I met wonderful people like DJ and Rabbi K, and I really decided or experienced this different kind of Judaism that I'd been slightly exposed to but hadn't really fully embraced. So I went to Maimonides. I was recruited heavily. And so I went to the first session, and it was kind of a little disheartening, and I wasn't sure if it was for me quite yet, because I kind of missed out on that discussion experience. But as we got more into it and we talked more, I really learned that I wasn't the only one feeling this way, and even if I wasn't the only one feeling a certain way, I could talk it out with other people, and there were so many intelligent people here, and so many different kinds of Judaism, different spectrums, and I was able to learn so much from everyone around me, and it was just really a wonderful, wonderful experience and opened my eyes to all different types of Judaism, and especially the one that Mayor kind of embraces and speaks about, and I learned so many different new things, and it was just very, very cool, and I had this awesome experience, and I met this entirely new group of friends, and I'm so glad that you guys are in my life, and it's just so great, even if we are a little cliquey sometimes, but it's fine, because we're all friends. And so, yeah, I look forward to being involved in Mayor going forward. I want to keep coming back to the box, hopefully do another program, and more trips, and it was just a really awesome experience, and I just wanted to thank you all so much for letting me have that and giving it to me.
Thank you so much, Hallie. I'd like to invite Sam. It's Wallace, right?
It is.
It is Wallace.
Correct.
Come on up.
All right. My name is Sam. It is Wallace, and I'm happy to be here. The only thing I hate more than public speaking is saying no to someone. So when Rabbi K asked me to speak, of course I said yes. And so I spent all week thinking, you know what, something's just going to come to me. Nothing came to me. Here I am. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just talking about how I feel, and all I feel right now is full, so I've got nothing to go on right now. I've got to say, probably if I do feel anything besides totally stuffed, I am very grateful to be here. I'm grateful for the food, for these really fancy, classic plates that we've got. They're fantastic. But I'm happy for, I'm grateful for the people I've met, the things I've done, what I wouldn't have otherwise experienced, and I guess all the knowledge that we've gotten. I think coming into this semester, I kind of had the idea that being a kid from really Christian, really white, kind of redneckish Carroll County, Maryland, if you guys are, anybody knows where that is, that kind of being not Jewish, Judaism was something that the rabbis were just going to give me. And I would have been able to be really Jewish at the end of this experience, and it would have been fine. And I think probably now I realize that's not the right mindset to have when it comes to education. I think Judaism is something that we've all got in us. Maybe only a little bit. Maybe we don't know any Hebrew. But at the same time, I think the values that Rabbi K, Rabbi Zalman, Rabbi Ozzy, DJ have kind of talked to us about, they're really just drawing what we have inside of us. And I think that's a really important thing to realize is maybe we all won't continue to Maimo too. Maybe we all won't go to eat Shabbat dinner every Friday. But I think what is important to realize is that Judaism is something we all have within us. And the process of growing as a Jewish person is something we can do every single day in any way that we want to. So thank you all very much.
It's just a short walk, Justin Garcia.
Not one for the whole bill. I also did not have a formal speech prepared, but I've always been a kind of person who can kind of wing it and make it seem like I didn't wing it until I said that. He did jokes like that. But up until recently, I kind of considered myself to be not too Jewish. I come from a mixed marriage. My mother being Jewish wasn't a very strong practicing one. So really, the only Judaism I got was when I got to go back home for the summers and see my grandmother and get delicious, Jewish bagels and lox. And that was just about as Jewish as I thought you could get for a while. But what I've really learned to see from here is that a lot of what he said is Judaism is a lot you can do on your own. And I think what I learned a lot from Mayor is that you can turn what seems like Judaism to be a very off-putting and kind of hard thing to break into if you weren't someone who went through Hebrew school and you weren't someone who was taught all these rules from a young age, to be told, well, this is what Judaism is, and you have to wear your hat, and you have to go, you have to turn off your phones on Friday nights and wait until Saturday night to turn it back on. You have to do all these things. It seems like it's a very scary situation to try to thrust yourself into. But realistically, there's Judaism and spiritualistic moments to be found in almost all the little things that we do today. And I think that was one of the most valuable lessons that I really pulled from the seminars and from all the trips that we had. It was really something as simple as, I'm sure you guys remember, eating an orange. Yeah. It's something so simple as just waiting to eat it and knowing that you want to eat it and just doing it slowly and doing it methodically and doing it in a sense that you put yourself in a religious realm, I guess you could say, to view that as. You can make any activity really holy, and you can almost learn from any activity. So I can take my daily life and instead of jumping right into being fully kosher, into doing a lot of things that may be difficult for my life to transition to right now, I can do small things that, like when I'm about to take my first drink for the night, say, wow, thank you, appreciate it. And then continue to do that 3 or 4 more times. Until I may not remember to say, wow, thank you every time. But really, I think that's really the beauty of Judaism, that you can find it, like he said, within yourself and within any little activity or daily moment that you want to bring to it. And I look forward to continuing my Jewish education through here, through the University of Maryland, because I don't really have that strong Jewish connection back home, and I've never felt more a part of a community, because that's really what Judaism is at the end of the day. It's a community, and it's both internal and external, where you live, where you may not live. And thanks for welcoming me to it.
Alex Nickelbine.
Hello. So growing up, I wasn't incredibly observant. My synagogue was a block away, but practicing Judaism was always a chore for me, and it was just the thing to get out of the way before I watched the Bears game on Sunday. I just have to go to Hebrew school for 3 hours. And now after this semester in Maimonides, I realize that Judaism is special and it should never be a chore. And even though some of the things that we do sometimes still seems funny to me, it's all for a reason. And when I came to college, I had my Star of David necklace, and I didn't really understand why I needed to wear it, and I would just wear it so I could start a conversation with girls in Phi Sig. But now I realize that's no reason to wear that. I should wear that because it really does means something special to me. So I'm really excited. I'll be going back to Israel this summer for 2 months. And I'm really excited. I'd like to just say thank you to the whole Maimonides staff. Thank you for welcoming me into your family.
We've got just a few more of these amazing souls that have bodies that'll be coming up to speak. But before we do that, we have a special event that we would like to pause our commencement with.
they say when you use volunteers in an organization that you get what you pay for. And usually I've found in the 10 years I've been working on campus, that's usually the case. You try to get people, students, or people to help you do things, and very often, they don't show up on time, or they're not that committed, because at the end of the day, they've got other responsibilities, and they're not really your priority. We've had the amazing privilege over the last year or so to have a student who has been essentially a volunteer, but who's really become like a part of our staff. It's kind of embarrassing that I had to go to all these years of rabbinical school to do what I'm doing. I just kind of walked in as a college senior, and you can probably take my job. But it's really been unbelievable to see what Zev is contributing to our organization. And we really, I don't know how we would have gotten through this year without him. We moved into the new house, the new box. For a parent that don't know, we have this beautiful new facility on Box Road, a converted fraternity house, and not so converted. It's in a transition period. But it's been a tremendous labor, a lot of, we have 30 tenants, and we have a lot of space that we have to deal with, and a lot more people coming through the doors. And really, every day, every week, Zev is someone who's there, and a person not only is there, but who thanks us for giving him the opportunity to be there when we really owe him so much. And the reality is, he's really owed a full-time salary, $5,000 to $6,000, whatever. Hopefully more than that. The parents get that joke. Kids think that's a lot of money. But he really is owed a full salary, because he's really been an unbelievable, indispensable member of our team. We don't have that, unfortunately. Hopefully we'll at some point in the future be able to afford extra staff members like that. But we do have this small award to have Zev come up. It's called the Outstanding Service Award, and I'm not going to expound on what it's for, because I think it's kind of self-explanatory. And in addition to that, Zev is headed this coming year to the Holy Land, back to Israel, where actually he, this past winter, staffed a birthright trip with us. Many of the Jews in Israel were on that very trip and saw firsthand how great Zev was, how helpful he was. In fact, half of them wanted to marry him, but he's not dating yet. So, but we do have, he's going back to Israel for the year, next year, to study more about his Judaism and to really become more proficient and learning. And in that note, we got him a gift certificate to the Jewish bookstore in Baltimore, which is also where he lives, to help purchase some of the critical supplies that will allow you to thrive even more than you already are, and get a head start on that. So we hope you use it well. We know you will. And don't put us to shame too much here now, right?
Up next, somebody who has no problem making noise, talking about Jake Stein.
Okay, so I was told to speak today about what my time in AR has done for me, so I'm going to be pretty blunt. Hopefully you can bear with me. Being Jewish sucks. Being Jewish means that I have to go to Hebrew school twice a week for 2 hours. Then every time I go, just another day wasted. Good luck controlling my class, Miss I can't pronounce your name, who's trying to teach us something that absolutely nobody in the class cares about. No one wants to be here. Let's be real. Being Jewish sucks. Being Jewish means I have to go to temple on the high holidays and some weekends. What? Are you kidding me? A perfect Saturday morning ruins? Yeah, let me just go sit and stand and sit and stand in a big room with a bunch of older people that I have no relation to whatsoever. Oh, and let me attempt to read a book in a completely different language that I have no idea what it means. And come on, nobody else knows it. All I want to do is wake up and watch cartoons all day, push all of my homework off into the side. And temple ruins this image. Being Jewish sucks. Being Jewish means I have to spend hours. Wait, hours? No. Days? Nope. Weeks. Wrong again. I have to spend months learning how to sing some absolutely ridiculous passage from the Haftarah, which I still don't understand what it means. Oh, and let me also read from a book that's a bajillion years old with no vowels, right? Let me just talk like forever. No vowels, right? It's the same concept. And then on top of all of this, let's do it in front of all of my friends. Let's do it in front of all my friends, all my family from across the country. Who's supposed to know? And I remember all of them. Of course I did. Yeah, I remembered everybody. Sorry. But being Jewish sucks. If any of these rabbis up here had come over to me as a 13-year-old kid and asked me to speak about my views about being Jewish, this is exactly the kind of talking to that they would get. So moving on to high school. Oh, I loved high school. High school was an interesting time, trying to figure out who or what kind of person I was going to be, meanwhile skating through all classes with just about minimal effort. I finally graduated from that atrocious Hebrew school, so I would never have to sit in those classrooms again, right? Because being Jewish sucks, right? Then, for some reason, all of my friends decided it would be a great idea. Yeah, a great idea for us all to sign up for a Hebrew high school. Wait, why did we do that? That was good persistent Jews right there. But Hebrew high school was actually not that bad. Granted, I only really went for one class because this one teacher was awesome, and he cracked South Park jokes all the time, so it made it kind of relevant, actually. So we listened to his mysticism a lot, and they were actually tolerable and sometimes even interesting. Crazy, I know. But still, being Jewish kind of sucks. Then came college, and what do we have here? A kid, and all he's trying to do is find his place. Join Greek life. It's cool. So he did. Join a bajillion other groups on campus. They're all really cool. So he did. One of which happened to be an a cappella group, but weirdly enough, it was a Jewish a cappella group. Weird. Just kind of worked out that way. But being Jewish sucks, right? A lot of the kids in my group are religious suckers. What do they know? No bacon, keeping kosher, jokes. They want me to spend a Shabbos with them and eat all Jewish kosher food. This is gonna suck hard. Let me just go party with my frat instead. But I went, and granted I don't really remember the end of it, a little too much Devar Torah reading and some toasting, but I think I had some fun, or maybe a lot of fun. But being Jewish sucks, right? Now, let this kid undergoing an identity crisis, confused about whether to hang with his frat bros, chill with his Jew weird creature people that are cool in a bizarre way, let him join a Jewish educational group called Mayor, with this fakakta program called Maimonides, or something, because I guess Judaism is sort of in a role in his life now. Indeed. Very interesting. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. Never really thought about that. I don't really get that. Can you repeat that? Oh, thanks for clarifying. Those are the first thoughts that ran through my head during the first Maimonides lecture. Wait, I'm actually learning things that resonate with me about Judaism, but being Jewish sucks, right? And again, next week, the same thing. So weird. I'm actually having my thoughts and everyday life being challenged, and I like it? Okay, this is getting really weird really fast. Next week, same thing. Following week, same thing. Week in, week out, Mayor has been challenging my mind. My thoughts, beliefs, views, values are all changing, or for a better word, evolving. Because at the end of the day, I like to think that my entire life has taught me a lot of things, and that one Jewish group can't just unravel all of that. Or can you? But what they definitely can do is help them grow, I think. But being Jewish sucks, right? I'm actually enjoying going to these lectures. I enjoy listening to these speakers and that come in. I call home and I tell my parents about what I'm learning about, so much so that my mama just has to come and embarrass me at a meeting. Just kidding, Mom, you didn't embarrass me that much. But the rabbis and the speakers are so on point with what I want to learn about that I actually go back to my apartment in a good mood, like a really good mood. And I legitimately leave the building that is called the box, but it's more like a home, feeling happy, and I have no idea why. And it's weird to me, because my roommates, they ask me, why are you so happy? And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. But at the end of the day, I think that's what Mayor is. I think for me, that's all it's about. It's about being happy and learning about Judaism. It's about knowing that the things that I've learned can impact me in a certain way to make me a happier person and a better and a more educated person. The rabbis that I speak with on a day-to-day basis, or even just a once-a-week kind of thing, when I see them, it's just a kind of bond that you can't really have with other people, and you just changes who you are that day and it will inspire you to do different things. And even everybody else that's here, all of my friends that I've made in the Mayor program, all of you guys have influenced me in a way that nobody else could, in a way that my friends could in like different ways, but purely from a Jewish standpoint, there's just something about it that's different. But being Jewish sucks, right? So that's why for me, Mayor isn't just about learning stuff. I mean, yeah, I like to learn stuff, that's cool. But it's something special about it, and you can't really tap into it unless you are in it. And for all those parents out there that don't really understand what it is that we do, I could speak for hours and tell you exactly what goes on in lecture, but it's just a special thing. And I'm confused because being Jewish sucks, right? Thank you.
That speech did not start. Okay, just two more before we head out to dessert. We've got Rachel Greenwald.
After my mother passed away unexpectedly in December, I no longer was sure of the role that religion would take in my life. But then I went on an amazing New York birthright trip, and I met tons of amazing people like DJ and Rabbi K. And by the end of the trip, they were telling me about 10 times a day that I just had to do Maimonides. So I figured, why not? I would get to stay close friends with the people that had come so near and dear to my heart, but I never really thought that it would be an experience that would bring me closer to my religion. I kind of just saw it as like a social experience. But then I turned out to be wrong, and it taught me to connect to Judaism in a different way. I feel like what a lot of students here have caught on is that you go to Hebrew school and it kind of only tells you the what. It's like, oh, this is what you do, but it doesn't tell you the how or the why. And I think that Mayor does a really good way of explaining like why we do things, not just, oh, you should go to Hebrew school, oh, you should pray this much. It tells you you should do this because it will make you a better person and it will give you a good base and values for the rest of your life. And it teaches you how to put Judaism into like your everyday life in general. And I'm really happy that I did it. And through the experience, I found a lot of answers to the questions that I was searching for in a difficult time in my life. And most importantly, it taught me that some questions like don't necessarily have answers, and that that's okay, and to move on from that. And I'm just really thankful for it, and I'm glad I did.
Clean up batter. The only thing that separates you from dessert. Ooh, pressure. Nick Fruitman.
This past semester has been such an amazing experience participating in Maimonides. It has been such a rewarding experience that I could have never gained without participating in class. Originally, I just did Maimo because I got peer pressured by DJ. I did it because DJ never really gave me the option of not doing it, as I'm sure most of you can attest to. But looking back, I am so glad that I did it because of all that I have learned and observed in the past few months. The Shabbaton showed me the importance of tradition and how meaningful Judaism is to some people, which definitely inspired me. The lectures provided me with great insight to different topics in Judaism, like the afterlife and stories from the Torah. Maimonides showed me the importance of continuing on Jewish traditions and having Judaism play a role in one's life. This has been such an amazing experience, and I hope that you all have gained as much as I did from Maimonides.
For dessert, ooh, one moment. Before we head out for dessert, I would like to publicly thank again Mr. Louis Mayberg for
many years have we been doing this? How many graduations?
21.
Is it 21st here?
Start drinking.
Started in our basement and built this room just for you. So, anyway, it's really an honor having all of you here today. I think it's a tribute to your students who, when they go off to college, would take the time to learn about their faith or to delve into it, because the opposite is happening on so many college campuses across the country. Students are becoming obviously less knowledgeable, less involved, and it's just a problem that every major Jewish organization has been addressing for 20 years, but organizations like theirs and all over the country and your sponsors, your major sponsors of it, have recognized the issue, and it's just really a tribute to you that you would take this time out of your college to learn about your faith. My wife and I became Shomer Mitzvah. We became religious almost by accident after we got married. We met a rabbi who had come to town and was teaching classes on Torah, and we decided why not go and learn, because we recognized that we likely couldn't transmit even what our parents had transmitted to us, because like so many of our grandparents, parents who came to this country, they did it to escape oppression and wanted to become Americans and wanted to put where they grew up behind them, because they viewed so many negatives with being Jewish. And I think you've all heard stories from perhaps your grandparents. I'm losing touch as I get older, because I look at you and I think I'm still that age. Then I look in the mirror. So, we've spent anyway. We started going to these classes, and it just sort of made sense, and it put together a lot of bits and pieces of what I had heard stories about from my family, but I didn't really feel it. Went to the synagogue a couple times a year. You all know the story. And over time, we bit by bit took on the beauty of Judaism, and raised 4 children who are committed. 2 in college, and 1 almost in college, and another one about to have a bat mitzvah. I got to run out and pick her up. She's studying for right now. And we feel, deeply indebted that we were able to have that opportunity to learn, just like you're now doing at a much younger age. And I would just say, as parents, don't be intimidated by about it. You see so many parents whose students go through a process or about learning, and they feel, well, what's wrong with the way we're living? And it's not. Don't look at what they might be doing as a negative, but that they're bringing back the roots of your tradition and our tradition. And I think the work that you do is just so important. We spend most of our philanthropic dollars in dealing with Jewish education and outreach, because we as a people are imploding, particularly in this country. The numbers are dwindling because of assimilation, and we're really going to see it come to a head now in the next few years. And it's the biggest issue that Jewish organizations have been recognizing, but you really see it happening now. So if we could slow that tide of flowing out and even turn it, you're part of something tremendous. 3,500 years of something that's continuous. There really is no other documented history, really, that you can prove out. I'll tell you a funny, quick story. There's Kohanes, which are the priests. There's Levis and Yisraels. And if you're reading the Parsha this past week, the Torah portion was talking about all the rules and the laws and other things for the Kohanim, the high priest. And the tradition in my family is we're Kohanes, so we're of the priestly class, which had the responsibility of dealing with the sacrifices, really running the big barbecue in the temple in Jerusalem. And really, that's really what it was. You'd come there, you'd make your sacrifices, they'd be cooked. You're making a sacrifice to God with an unblemished animal, and then you had to eat it. And then the Kohanes, for their service, not getting any land or any portion, would get a part of each of those sacrifices, and it fed the thousands and thousands of Kohanim who were required to serve. But there's something in the Parsha that talks about the lineage coming from Aaron. And Aaron was the brother of Moshe. And about 30 years, I think it's approaching 30 years now, a geneticist, I think he was from Arizona, was I believe in Toronto during the high holiday services. And he was a Kohen. and he was from Eastern Europe, and he saw the first aliyah, the first parsha being given when they were reading the Torah on Yom Kippur morning, going to a Kohen who was of Sephardic origin. This guy looked like an Arab, very dark skinned, and he said, and he was thinking about what it said in the Torah that if his lineage was from Aaron, then we should be able to take all of the Kohens, if it's something true and it's been followed, and he's a geneticist, he said we should be able to take blood samples, we should be able to get genetic samplings, and we should be able to find a common matching in Kohens that we won't find in the general Jewish population. So they did a worldwide genetic testing of thousands of Jews that claimed to have Kohen heritage, and sure enough, in 97% of them, they found a specific gene that they didn't find in the vast majority of others. Now, there could be reasons that other Jews who weren't Kohens had it, as they fell out, or there could have been it could have been where there could have been intermarriage, or there could have been adultery, or could have been other things. But they found a very low percentage of that outside of the Kohen link. So I thought that was really interesting, and a number of years ago, I said, well, that's true. I want to get one of these genetic tests and see if I have it, because I think that would be an incredible link, and that would be something that I would want to be able to transmit to my two sons, because it's patrilineal, and of course your daughters get it, but when they marry somebody who's not a Kohen, they're no longer part of that lineage in their family. And sure enough, I had this gene. Now, it could be that I'm just from a Mesopotamian farming community, because that's really where it began, and they can actually, with all of the genetic testing done in the world, see that the lineage comes from what is today modern Iraq, which was the Fertile Crescent, where they think everything began. So this is, in my mind, God's way of using modern science to help prove out things. That there is no other book or heritage in the world that has that direct link that you can follow the book backs nearly 3,500 years to prove something about. And that makes me stop back and think that there's something greater here. And it would certainly be a shame that after everything Jews have suffered through and gone through generation after generation, that it would end with our generation. So it's something to think about, with your children here and as parents, if you have other children. We don't want this to stop with us. This is something that is very, very special that we have been given. It's a gift. Learn about your gift. It's your heritage. It's something really special. And thank you for letting us host these things. And thank you for coming. And congratulations to all of you.
And dessert is served outside.
Yeah, you take about 10 minutes to take dessert, circulate. And circulate around and bring someone back here so people are more